G'day guys, welcome back to the IEM Oakland SEA qualifiers. We've done one map, that's MVP, picking it up 16-12 over Mineski. Now heading into our second one here. It is going to be Inferno, it is MVP's map pick. We had some questions about them on Mirage, but moving on to Inferno. They've got this one on lockdown, I think, Danny.
Yeah, it's going to require quite a bit. Having said that, Mineski did challenge and Dubstep didn't really arrive at that map, and maybe if he does, that will be the kind of X factor that they need to carry it through. Any other map but Inferno, I would give him more of a fighting chance, but this just is like, I'm not too sure on the specific details of the video process, but maybe this one should have been left out by Mineski. That's my concerned high-pitched voice for them. But yeah, definitely lockdown here for MVP.
Maybe. Having a look at how things have been going across the bracket, though, Rekka did get map number 1, which we kind of expected to see. Chiefs and Mongols also getting map number 1. So pretty much every single team that came in with the perceived advantage has come out of map number 1 with the advantage. They're all 1 apiece, or 1-0 at the moment, and heading into map number 2. I mean, a lot of those matchups we'd probably be expecting to see the 2-0 coming across. So that would be excellent for all those teams if they're able to get it. It's an excellent start. Now they just need to finish it here. But focusing on that MVP and Mineski matchup, which we're of course casting, the 2-0 in my mind is almost a sure thing here. We obviously did see MVP having some issues on Inferno earlier this week against the Mongols. They started off on T side. They only got 2 rounds the entire map. However, I think that they were just really having a poor night there. They were just getting out-aimed. It seemed as though the Mongols really stood up and just were like, bam, 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 see you later. We win.
Bam, bam, bam.
I don't even know. Like, it was just crazy. But it just didn't seem like MVP. You know, we didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't look like what we expected to see out of them. And they obviously, I think at least, start better on the CT side where they can just control the map so well on CT. We've seen them do it in the past. And so, to me, if MVP do get the knife round and start on CT side, then it's like I'm almost ready to put $100 on MVP to win.
Oh, that might
map.
not, to like the avid punters out there, that might not sound like a lot, but for Elfish, that's like life-saving level. Yeah. Like, that's like a real solid
my max
bet
is like $10 usually. So I'm very, very confident in MVP if they start off on CT side. And even if they do lose the lose the knife and then have to start on T, I would definitely think that they're going to have enough here anyway. I mean, they just need to get like 5 rounds on CT on the T side, move on to CT. They should be able to still come away with a victory. Even though a lot of people are saying that Overpass is a little bit more of a T-sided map now, I still feel as though, for MVP in particular, their CT side is better.
Inferno, sorry? You said Overpass?
Inferno, yeah. Sorry, I meant Inferno.
I thought you were talking about the proverbial third map, which we are both agreeing is very unlikely at this stage. I really do think Dubstep, once again, I give him such hype. Maybe it's just that commentator's curse, but he didn't really arrive. Maybe he will have an opportunity here. But MVP, I mean, you do put a lot of focus on their CT side, but the T side is still very strong. Maybe it just doesn't seem that strong because they are so dominant on that CT side.
Well, maybe, yeah, because we just don't get to see them that much on it, I guess. That could be part of the reason. Thinking about last map as well, you were talking about, obviously, Dubstep not really standing up to the level that you wanted to see. I thought Perry was quite quiet as well for MVP PK, but admittedly, they did start on the CT side. He was mostly over towards the B-bomb site, didn't really have much in his direction coming his way, so didn't really have a chance, I think, to warm up into that game. And even on the T side, I don't think we really saw anything too amazing out from him. Most of it I thought was Solo and Zeph and HSK when he had the AWP in his hands as well, was hitting some nice shots. But definitely Solo, when he had that rifle, the M4A1S in particular on the CT side, he was just going ham in a lot of those rounds. And so he was very, very good. Zeph was getting some good entries on the T side. But yeah, I mean, we didn't see too much out from Perry. So if Perry's going to have a good performance here on Inferno, that's just another player that is going to be a problem, I suppose, there for Mineski. So I think that MVP have still got a little bit more left in the tank even after that map on Mirage.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got to think that, Mineski didn't even win a pistol round. They did get that sort of force up by in the second, but MVP, like, speaking of starting well, their pistol runs have been very convincing. Just the raw aim coming out of those USPs on the CT side, and just the strategy in those on the T side there, and just locking down that B-bomb side on Mirage, and you got to think they're going to follow suit. So I think those pistol rounds are really important for Mineski to kind of like clasp away. They always are important, but they really need to get one in this series. I mean, losing all 4 would be absolutely detrimental and not give your side any kind of chance to take out the map. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, a 16-12 where MVP gets both the pistol rounds, you could have said, maybe had Mineski been able to get one of those, it could have been a little bit closer, could have been 16-14. You're right, though. They did get the reset, basically, in the force buy in the second half. So it's almost as good as winning the pistol round, and then they won 4 in a row after that. So overall, like, I think Mineski, you can't put it just down to losing the pistols, really.
Yeah.
MVP were a little bit better towards the end there. They really got they really got it sorted in the second half. I mean, they won 5 T rounds in a row, then they lost that one right on the end when they were on 15, and they just cleaned up the next round anyway. So it was almost 6 rounds in a row on the T side there for MVP, and they had kind of a similar run on their CT side as well to start things off, where they were up at like 8-2, 8-3. Then things kind of got a little bit away from them, but I do feel like MVP has the potential just to get on these streaks and put themselves in great positions, or dig themselves out of those holes that they started to get into. I mean, because we were talking about Mineski, where in that second half, they started to get a bit of a lead. They did seem to be coming back into that map, and we thought that they might even be able to close out the map. But MVP, all of a sudden, flick the switch and turn it around and come back and win 4 or 5 rounds in a row and basically just win the map off the back of that. And so that's definitely a chance that there's going to be something like that happening here on Inferno as well. Like I said, particularly on the CT side, if they just get that economy booming at the start, you know, win pistol, clean up the 2 anti-ecos pretty well, don't lose too many guns, first gun round goes their way, bam, their economy's set for the next few rounds. They don't need to worry too much about losing players. And when their economy is really set like that on Inferno CT side, you're going to be having all the utilities that you want, and that's so imperative on a map like Inferno. And the way that MVP does play it, they need those utilities as well, because they like to use that smoke in the deep banana area right down towards the T-stairs. Then they follow it up with the carpet of Molotovs really all the way up kind of like the ramp towards car. And then there's just no way that you can really counteract that with the Ts. I suppose you can put your own smoke up towards the car position or even a little bit further on and try and walk through when those Molotovs do dissipate a little bit. But at that point, generally speaking, MVP's kind of pushed all the way down banana. They've got a player in the cutout, or they've got a player maybe sitting behind car or sitting behind the wall, and you walk in and you just get cleaned up by 1 or even 2 players there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a kind of sneaky game that gets played towards the top banana there, and MVP are kind of like the masters of it. Having said that, though, we have got news through that Mineski have gotten that knife round, so they have opted for that CT side, so they might have an opportunity here to kind of put some pressure onto the T side here. Elfie's not the biggest fan of the MVP T side, but I think especially here in this pistol, you'll see something special maybe, unless Mineski can lock it down. But I do think MVP's T side is still very strong here on this map, Inferno.
Right, I think they've got a lot that they can fall back on. But my major concern was obviously that match against the Mongols. So if they can clean this one up pretty handily, maybe I can forgive them for that and start saying some nicer things about their T side. But it all comes down to this map for Mineski. This could be, well, it is do or die really for them. If they lose this one, they are knocked out of the IEM Oakland SEA qualifiers, which naturally means that they will not be going to IEM Oakland. MVP are going to want to clean this one up with a 2-0 and then head into their next matchup, most likely against Rekka with a bit of nice momentum, and that's a great start for MVP. He's just taking the peak into the firing squad of MVP.
Yeah, so just not coming up too well for Guy there. He goes down straight away, and it looks like they'll be going towards mid there. But I'm just kind of holding towards that bottom 9 position, see if they can get any kind of information there. We do see HSK just on a bit of a lurk towards App, see if he can make any noise. But that bomb will be joining his teammates up towards mid, and it is here Retrack. He's got that kind of line holding. He actually steps away there at the moment they start to peak, so he's given that up quite easily, and they will pay more passive positions for the A bomb side, as we do see the bomb making its way towards Diggity. So now it's just down to Retrack and Dubstep to lock it down, find some heads here. The spam coming through, not finding anything as of yet as they actually go down. The trade's coming through, so not too bad a start, but it's still 3-on-2, and the site has been given away. Bomb will go down very shortly. Hannibal just trying to find something if there's a little bit of a gap in the smoke. He might actually just go through and push this. The Suspender actually manages to find Zeph. Hannibal will go down, so they just have to rely on Dispenser here. Just try to find anything here, not landing too many shots. Has to go for the reload. Super low health. HSK will clean him right up. So there you have it, the 3rd consecutive pistol round here for MVP. On the T side.
I thought that was going to be a little bit concerning actually there for MVP when they did lose Zeph in the pit, put it back into a 2v2 position. Both the MVP players that were left alive were sort of on the site and stuck in that sort of kind of weird post-plant positioning, but then we saw that extra kill come across to the player coming out of library, and MVP can pretty easily take the 2v1. So nice work from Perry there to get the 2k in the pistol. That second frag that he did get was pretty crucial. Mineski though, flying straight into this round, pistol and armor, and MVP don't seem particularly concerned as they just filter their way out into mid and start wandering up towards the A-bomb site.
Yeah, so while favouring this A-bomb site towards the early parts of this map, as Retrack does try to get a couple of Deagle shots. We saw how powerful it was holding that beam bomb site on Mirage with it, and Dispenser finds through Archers, tries to land a shot but doesn't get anything. Tagged down to 31. This is that eyeball wrap we see so often from MVP PK coming through Archers, but Dispenser does actually dispense off Perry to the head as he gets traded out by Glow here. The lockdown on the B bomb site, 3 players. Gee just trying to see if he can find anything towards top of Nana there. It's a nice little setup. It might be a 3-on-3 battle here, but the firepower in favor of MVP. Dubstep needs to land a couple of shots. Interesting little crossfire setup here, but they don't have too much to work with at all. No utilities, just the raw firepower of the Deagle. Zeph gets taken down straight away. Hannibal with an opportunity, but Wolf go down to the fire, so that is the bomb side. And retrack here just, gets a nice shot onto Solo. So Solo kicking himself, he didn't pick that up. He manages to get the MAC-10, but no utility, no kit, no round me feels.
Yeah, I think you feels correct. 2 versus 1 though. Retrack, if he hits a nice quick Deagle shot out here, that could potentially open things up, and he has spotted out Zeph. I don't think Zeph would have seen Retrack there, but Glow goes down. Thought he was holding a great angle, but still the trade's out from Zeph. It's an expensive round for MVP, admittedly, but they are on the T side, so it's not as much of a concern as if they were on the CT side. They'll be able to rebuy into this round. Mineski shouldn't be investing anything here, so we can expect to see maybe a MAC-10 out from one of those MVP players. There we go, it is Glow. 2, in fact, 1 for Solo as well. Zeph here might just grab an AK. Yeah, and just try and take it through to the next round. So if they can take the 2 AKs and the Galil through next round, they'll be quite happy. And hopefully for MVP, Glow and Zeph are going to be able to just clean up quite a few frags with those MAC-10s.
Indeed, as Dubstep doesn't have an opportunity to peek there towards that car position as he is mollied out, and HSK just making his way towards mid. Seeing can find anything as that bomb is just staying towards T-steps as Glow is kind of closed the gap here with this MAC-10. Might be able to bank some money. Caught in a bit of an awkward position trying to spam through that wall, and it looks like the CT players will be retreating in Gee and Dubstep towards that side. Only USPs here, absolutely nothing invested into the round. Might be a bit of a struggle to stave off this push.
Quick rotation coming across here from Dispenser, but might not be quite quick enough as the B players do fall. The smoke is there in CT to just keep him at bay, and he has to rotate through construction.
Yeah, Dispenser's just going to maybe post up here, see if anyone walks into his crosshair, which they do, but Glow just a bit too sharp onto that, takes him down straight away. So getting a bit of bank there for his trouble in the MAC-10 there, getting 2 kills already. Zeph finding Hannibal. Now, Retrack just standing out there with a knife.
3 out of 5 kills on the SMGs.
Very nice. But yeah, just standing there with a knife. Not too sure. Maybe just having a bit of a chat with his team. Not too much to lose or play for there. But you want to go down with a fight, I think, more often than not. But we move forward to the all-important first gun round. It looks like MVP will be holding on to these guns. They have built up some banks. See if we can get that bonus round.
I like it, though, from MVP. If you look across at what Mineski's picked up here, they've got Retrack, who is glass cannon orb. That's cannon fodder for the MAC-10 if they get in close range. Gee and Captain Hannibal don't have any head armor either, so I think these MAC-10s can definitely be effective. It's just going to be getting them into close range. You know, this is kind of like what we talk about in the pistol rounds as well. If we can get a Tech 9 or a 5.7 in close range, it can be just as good as a rifle. And HSK does go down there trying to find the entry. Glow and Zeph, where are they? Glow does find Hannibal, and there you go. No head armor. He gets the free shot across. Does go 1 for 1 in terms of the trade, but out of your MAC-10 player, that's probably not too bad, actually, as they've got 2 AKs now. Galil picked up for Solo as well. This is the ideal situation for MVP. They're in that site. Dispenser pushing through. Does manage to find Solo, but Zeph is easily able to get the trade, and this post plant is very good for MVP. A player up in apartments, a player in pit. What are you going to do here as Mineski? I mean, that player in apartments can just do this. Like, he can just do whatever he wants, really. And, well, Retrack, he's just going to probably lose the AWP here and hand one free one over to MVP, you would expect.
Yeah, so actually just goes for a bit of a peek, see if he can find anything, make it a one-on-one situation. But he gets spammed through the wall, so that's so unfortunate. Obviously going to have every chance to recover that AWP, so... I mean, maybe he should have just hightailed it. I mean, 7 HP, no armor, no utility. That was...
Well, he didn't really have anywhere to go. Like, whichever way he went out, there was going to be a T there waiting for him. So, really nicely played by MVP. They take 2 AKs through, or they take the AWP and the AK through. So, they basically take the 2 guns through that they wanted, which would have been the 2 AKs, but they even upgraded one of them. So, good stuff there from MVP. They've got a full buy coming out here. Mineski do have a 5 nade stack, but... how effective is this really going to be? One would probably not assume that it's going to be too effective. A lot of damage there onto Zeph, actually, but still, the first kill does go the way of MVP with the challenge in mid.
Yeah, just setting up these CZ mid grinder towards top of 9 there, but it looks like Perry will just be saving off. He's actually on 56 HP, so it'll be very easy target for these 2 guys if he does start to push up, but just kind of holding the angle, waiting for the bit of aggression coming through the CTs, but it looks like they just hold towards this wall and just wait for something, anything, for a free AK to walk towards them. As the kind of angles are just being watched here for the guys in MVP, playing it very slow and patiently. They know their opponents are on an eco here, so not wanting to give away anything too cheaply as HSK does find Dispenser. It looks like the rotate will be coming out towards that A-bomb site. So if they go up Nana here, it's going to be a pretty cruisy day here for the guys in MVP to get their 5th round. I mean, like Mineski, we have seen some promise here. 16-12 is a good scoreline against a team like MVP, but I mean, we talk about how the Mongols got the best of MVP, but you got to think the Mongols are a different kind of class of team, really.
You would think so, yeah. But MVP starting off very well on their T side so far. I mean, we admittedly have only seen the single gun round, but it was pretty clean, really, out from MVP. It didn't feel like they were going to lose it. And Solo, how does he even hit that second shot? Jumping headshot with the AK. I don't even know where that came from. Does get punished for his aggressive actions, but overall, that's still great for MVP here. Dubstep does not want to lose this AK, but MVP certainly want to take it out of his hands, and Zeph should be able to, which he does. So again, another good round out from MVP. Only 2 guns lost. The AWP gets taken through. Their money starts to build up more and more. Mineski, a pause coming out from them, but they will have a bye coming into this round at number 6. MVP, though, really just seemed to be having an easy-peasy time here on Inferno.
Yeah, just coasting through. I mean, everything going their way in terms of the side, and even Solo just getting caught out there in mid, just finding those 2 domes, jumping around, just flailing his crosshair everywhere. I mean, when players are doing things like that, it's going to be a very tough time to play against them. Technical pause actually coming up from Mineski, so I thought that might have been a cue for attack pause, which would have been a nice time for it. 5-0 facing down first. Second bye coming out, trying to turn the tide here, but it looks like we may have some technical issues with the guys from the Philippines. So, Elfish, I know you don't really like calling things this early. It's only 5-0, but it looks, you know, it definitely does look like MVP will be coasting through to the next stage of the IEM qualifiers.
Yep, I'm quite happy to actually call it at this point, to be honest, Danny, because 5 rounds on the T side, I kind of said, well, if they get 5 rounds on the T side, that's probably enough for them moving on to CT, because we know how strong they are. But now they've gotten 5 and 0. The more rounds that they get here, the easier the job gets in the second half, and I'm thinking that MVP is looking very much in control of Inferno. The only takeaway that I do have still, though, is the fact that obviously we've only seen 1 gun round here from Mineski. So it's not over yet. It's still early days, realistically speaking. But the way that MVP is kind of going about this, it just does seem like they're not really in any kind of a concerning situation. And I would suspect that MVP can continue to sort of roll out like this on the T side. If that second gun round goes their way, I mean, I just don't see Mineski really coming back from that. You know, maybe they get like 4 or 5 rounds, but it's just going to be a massive first half from MVP.
Yeah, I mean, they do danger as well. They need to keep players alive when they win their rounds as well, because if they go down straight away, losing that max round loss bonus is just going to string together another couple of rounds for the guys at MVP. But now it does lead into a tactical pause coming from that technical pause. So lots of words to be said, see if they can log it down, as they do have quite a healthy buy coming out there. Dubstep on that AWP once again. We saw retrack on that last gun round, so we'll see. Finally, Dubstep, make my words come true. I've given you so much praise. You're the key for this team. We'll see if they can make it happen. And HSK with an AWP of his own, he's been doing quite well as well. He was quite flamboyant with it over on Mirage, wasn't he? Yeah. I don't know why I said flamboyant. That's probably the worst word to use.
All right. Whatever you say.
Indeed, as Dubstep takes a peek through the molly, actually gets tagged down to 28. So I thought it was going to go down to an 8 actually, but gets away with his life and doesn't do too much damage at all to the T. So really not worth that risk, but he does have the AWP in hand. So HP not too much of a factor there, hopefully, if it doesn't get taken down too easily. 1-shot kill. As recheck will hold this pit position as the bomb kind of makes its way up towards Abs here. So they'll be heading towards that kind of heavier stack, but we'll see if the entries kind of work out for the guys on MVP if Glow decides to push his smoke, which I've seen him do a couple times before, but it looks like he's going to wait for his teammates to try to clear out mid here.
2 players in pit is going to be a little difficult for MVP to deal with. They have the Molotovs available to them, but they decide to just throw the bomb out into the pit, and now they have to commit to this. Zeph does get the kill onto Hannibal, but I'm not so sure about this one actually for Mineski, or rather for MVP. Like, why they do that instead of chucking a couple of mollies out into the pit, playing it a little bit slower, waiting for that smoke to disappear. Now Glow's going to have to push back. Solo, though, in a great spot here. No idea how he actually managed to swindle himself there. I wasn't actually watching his POV, but he does get around the back and finds himself 3 entries onto the A-bomb side, and all of a sudden things look much better for MVP, even though it was awful at the start.
Yeah, Solo just having a fantastic series there. I mean, we were really questioning. Bomb dropped in an awful position. Player posted up into that pit, and Solo just manages to finagle his way into Library. Take down 2, takes down the 3rd onto site. Might actually get himself a 4K here if he can. He's going on the hunt here. He's feeling confident, feeling good, and why wouldn't you be? He absolutely just saved that round for the guys at MVP. And I mean, it was some very sharp play coming from a very powerful position. Now he's just going to go for a bit of a hunt. If he doesn't make too much noise towards Nana, he might actually find Dubstep very easily and actually recover that secondary AWP, which, I mean, this team, they've got sharp AWPers as Dubstep actually gets the sound cues and takes him down straight away. So Solid going for maybe a bit too much there. But he looks like he is a bit too far away for any of these T-sided players to get that AWP out of his hands. So he'll be taking him to that next round. May just get away with 28 health as he did get tagged down for his aggressive peak with that molly. But once again, the money. I mean, they could potentially force up here. There is that option, but it's still relatively early in the half. Maybe just recalibrate as Dubstep actually does invest quite heavily. And it looks like the bite is coming out from the guys on Mineski. Yep,
6-0 for MVP PK at the moment. But some news from the other matches in the bracket. Chiefs have now 1-2-0, which means they will be moving on to the next round. Actually, the first team to finish off their game. So we're still waiting on the results from Reka and the Mongols, and of course this matchup as well. But Chiefs are through to the next round if anyone was interested in that matchup. Turning arrows back though to MVP PK. That last round, I thought it was a bit shaky, to be honest, but Solo kind of carrying it through for MVP. Still puts them at 6 here, and it kind of puts Mineski on a bit of a awkward bye here with the Mag 7, and obviously the 2 FAMASas as well out from Mineski. It can work, definitely can work on a map like Inferno, but it's just not what you'd really want to have in an ideal situation.
Yeah, so Dubstep just trying to do something towards... Molly will rain out and we'll actually get him off that line there. So nice little Molly there to take control of Nana. It looks like they will be pushing forward off of this. There's actually Dispenser's got the FAMAS. He's going to hold that angle towards Nana. He's actually going to go for a little pick here. So nice little flash coming up. But he needs to get a frag. I mean, with a flash like that, eventually finds a very difficult one onto Solid, but gets straight out straight away. So maybe not worth it in the end. HSK actually gets taken down to 38 before finding that frag. Nice little flash there. He gets one completely blinded. So 3-on-3. But Retract needs to hold something down. He probably will be able to recover a gun shortly. But at this stage, that Swag 7 might come into play here. The smoke coming down.
It's going to be a B hit. They're going to go around the world and hit B. Hannibal needs to do something big here. They check his line and he gets the 1, drops the bomb, which kind of does give a little bit more time for Retract to work with here on the A site. But still, Perry only having to retrieve that bomb takes like an extra second or 2, which is really not ideal. And it's now going to come down to Dubstep. He needs to find at least a frag here as they filter into the bomb side. And he's watching the correct angle, but misses the shot. And Perry will be able to get that bomb down. HSK going to watch CT. That's where they expect Retract to come from. In fact, he's gone for a bit of a longer rotate around through mid and up the banana. But this is not an easy situation. That 2v1, the crossfire on the B side, very, very strong. And HSK cleans it up easy as you like. Perry must have got the information for him with that little shoulder peek. 7-0 here for MVP. The T side is working very, very well for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It was nice little pieces of play there, like from coming out from Captain Hannibal. Obviously, doing that research long, they like to favor that wraparound, just mimicking the movements and taking one down, but needs to do a little bit more than that. And he did only have that FAMAS in hand. So, I mean, it obviously looks like they've done their homework, but MVP, players landing shots like they are, it's going to be a very tough ask, and they're on that eco once again. Max round loss bonus, so they'll be able to buy quite health into that next round, but the flash coming through, Flash himself gets taken down, so the aggression down mid doesn't really work, as Retract does manage to find Glow. Dispenser getting taken down to the top of Nana. I think Zeph is just having a field day up there, just cleaning that up. And now it's just down to Retract. He's the top mid. Doesn't have much to work with. Actually has P250 and armor. Maybe once a year. I mean, yesteryear, you would back an opportunity with that P250, but since the nerf, it's really just not much to work with. 8th round for MVP PK. You said 5 would be good. I'm going to imagine you're really liking this 8.
Yep. 8 is better than 5. The bigger the better, Danny. And the bigger the number, which is 8, is better, obviously, for MVP. Not quite better for Mineski because they're still sitting on 0. So they need to find something here in this first half because the way it's looking, MVP is kind of just waltzing around doing whatever they want and getting away with an easy second map.
Yeah, I mean, they're working quite well together, executing onto these sites, and when they're not, they're getting players like Solar coming up. Dubstep with the aggressive peak actually manages to take down HSK, so a nice opening there and giving themselves the advantage, which we haven't seen too often.
At all.
Yeah.
I think that might be the first time Mineski's actually got the first pick.
That Molly actually reaching it. Dispen's a little bit confused there how that Molly was actually getting to him.
Hot air rises.
But does hot fire rise?
I don't know.
Well, it did there, as we do see.
I'm not an expert on Molotovs, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I consider myself a bit of a Molotov expert.
You reckon?
No, not at all. That'd be scary, wouldn't it?
It would be a little
Yeah,
bit. I'd be like, where'd you learn that? In prison?
Yep. Prison days.
I've
Learning
seen
how
your
to make
tattoos,
Molotovs.
Danny.
You have? Because the location of that tattoo lends itself to think that you're spying on me in the shower. But we see the push coming through towards that B bomb site there. It's a 2-3 split. And a very passive angle held here from Guy and Dispenza holding from CT. So if that smoke rains out, they're going to actually give them the start. Obviously play for that retake 5-on-4. Very viable, but they don't have too many utilities to work with. And the players here on the A bomb site are quite far away as the push comes through very slowly. Guy in that what is now a very common boost position, but still not checked too frequently. So we'll see if he can make anything work from this as they set up the crossfire onto this B position. The rotate coming through from Hannibal. So it looks like they're in a nice little spot to block this push through. Fully flash players, push the smoke. Bit of a cleanup here from the guys on TT. Dispenza finds 2, so it looks like it is all down to Solo with that AWP. Gets the angle actually.
Like, how's he not spotting him? But really nicely played there from Dispenza. Got the timing absolutely perfect. The flashbangs from Mineski were very good as well. Most of the MVP players were flashed coming through that smoke. And so Mineski do finally find their first round of the half here, but it's really not going to ease the pressure at all. Again, you always have to go back to the fact that if they lose the next round, they just get back onto the eco for the next couple of rounds, and MVP's then suddenly back up 10-1, and the situation is just not any better at all for Mineski from that point onwards. So MVP here, they have a full buy. They have probably another full buy next round, and maybe even the round after. I don't know where their money is sitting at exactly, but it's a great situation for MVP still, despite having lost that last round. Mineski do need to go 2, 3, 4, probably 7 rounds in a row here to turn this actually back into probably a believable first half and salvageable second half. But MVP have done a great job so far, and you just can't see 7 rounds coming in a row from Mineski.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good start, if any, to keep those 4 players up and lock it down, just start to build that economy. But at this stage, 1 round with 4 players is not going to be enough, as we see Zeph just the double pick. That was well timed. Dubstep only having the 1, the trade coming straight through. So a nice little opening there for MVP PK, the trade coming straight away. That was so well timed. That was beautiful. It was like a choreographed dance. Yep. Like the old dance troupe used to be a part of Elfish. Why don't you do that anymore?
Oh, look, I had to focus on one thing, you know.
Yeah.
You can't be the best at multiple things. You can only be the best at one.
You had such promise as a young dancer, though.
I know. I've got the figure for it as well. But now I just lift instead, Danny.
Yeah, mate, those gains, them mad gains. Do you still have the picture of topless Sean Garris on your fridge as inspiration?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people
I actually photoshopped my head onto it.
That's not weird at all. Yeah. Anyway, as we see the wraparound coming once again, Glow coming towards the A site. He's going to try and make his way through library. Actually misses due to that flash and retrack here. He's got to find 1 or 2 there. Trade coming through. So once again, 3-on-3 situation. They do get onto the site there. Guy needed to find a frag. Now it's just down to Hannibal. He goes down. So Dispenza. He's actually in a craft little spot here, but he's on 6 HP, which is the big fact. A couple of low players here, so not too much to put past him, but, you know.
Dispenza just hightailing it out of there. Not much you can do in the 3v1, even if Zeph
Throw
is
the
on
molly,
6
you can find Zeph.
and HSK is on 27.
Not enough health to hunt as well.
Maybe.
So, 9. He manages to save the AK, but we saw the money.
Yeah.
They're going to get that first round loss bonus of $1,400 as well. So, I mean, they could get a decent buy, a couple of SMGs, maybe a couple of FAMASs here, but you got to think, I mean, where does the call come in?
Well, I maybe just have to buy into every round that they can here because they just need to. They need to get every round from here, pretty much. Mineski, every single round that MVP does get through here is just driving that nail further and further into the coffin that is Mineski's at this point. As it's looking like we're staring down the barrel of a pretty quick 2-0 here from MVP, or at least the second map's going to be pretty quick by the look of things. And, well, the money for Mineski is not great, but they have decided to buy into the round regardless. They get 4 rifles and a CZ, so it's not too bad, but the major problem is the lack of utilities. And on a map like Inferno, you really want to be having those utilities. They can't really get any map control very easily. There is a deep smoke, but there's nothing to follow it up with. As soon as this smoke disappears, MVP's pretty much got control of Banana again.
Yeah, absolutely, and just that 1 kit on Dispenza, so depending on where he goes down, that might also put a lot of pressure on retaking any sites. If that bomb does go down, it looks like there's a bit of presence towards Archers there, as we see Zeph trying to clear out these apartments. There's not too much of a presence as of yet. He might head his way down towards Boiler. Might be able to find a frag or 2 here if they're not suspecting anyone to come out. But looks like they'll be retreating. Hannibal just holding this cubby position. So they've poised themselves with every opportunity to try to shut this down. But Zeph actually manages to find his way out, so now this may be a bit more difficult Well, Mineski holding down this A-bomb site. Zeph actually gets pretty far forward here, so they probably won't be expecting this as they do waterfall out. The shots fired gives the information away. Zeph tries to find one. He actually doesn't know that Retrack is holding this position. The spam coming through the wall, not finding anything. He might be able to find a second one here, which he doesn't. HSK finds Gee. Now it's down to a 3-on-2. Hannibal needed to find that frag. Dispenser has a bit of utility there, so might be able to do something solo on 10, Perry on 56, AK in hand, but at this stage, I mean, he's not going to go for too much. He's actually more concerned about something coming from behind him. It looks like he might just quietly, can't say hightail because he's walking, but get himself out of that situation.
Really nice work from Perry in that round. Good awareness that there was that player coming out of balcony. And if he would have gone down to Hannibal, then that was a very achievable retake for Mineski. But he just looked straight in the correct direction, got the headshot across. Dispenser look at their exits here. He'll get one on to HSK, but that might be the death sentence for him, though he does seem to have gotten out of here okay. The smoke does go down. And realistically, it's not going to affect MVP at all, really. Again, they had so much money coming into the round that they lost. And again, they've got so much money. And they're still winning rounds. So the bank is building up again for MVP.
You also spoke about Perry a little bit quieter in that last round, but now he's going 11-4. A bit more of the form that we used to see from him, and as such, it is 10-1. So everyone MVP stepping up here to give themselves every chance to make it to IEM Oakland. Dispenser. Bit of a lone ranger on this side here, kitted up with absolutely everything. No harm, no head armor, but his teammates have got too much, so the support network not there. But they do stack towards that A-bomb site with Retract the lone wolf on B. Looks like he'll be joining his teammates shortly as well. So if they do decide to push up, it's going to be a pretty easy bomb plan here for the guys on MVP.
Dispenser needs to come up huge in this round. And even if he does, like, 10 rounds for MVP. It's too little too late, really, for Mineski at this point. The B bomb site's completely open for MVP here, which they are not aware of just yet, but sooner or later they're going to figure that out. Maybe this push from Dubstep is going to give away the information that there's just a bit of a stack over towards A. Still, MVP are not too keen to get anything aggressive going on right now. Dispenser's going to re-peek the line. That's the AK lost here for Mineski. And it slides even further down the stairs to make it just a little bit more irretrievable for Mineski.
Oh, that old slidey down AK, huh?
Yep, that one.
Yep. It's not too good. Perry's just not enough health to keep an eye on that, as Retract does actually manage to salvage that weapon.
I think MVP would see the AK's not there anymore, so they know that it's been retrieved. Zeph's going to go a bit aggressive here, trying to chase down Gee, and it does work out pretty nicely for him. Hannibal's got himself in an interesting position, though. Retract gets one, but the trade is there. And the A-bomb site is open for MVP.
Yeah, so you think the info call would have come out quite a while ago to see, and even at the fact that they do get this bomb down solid, just holding towards top banana, so really just banking on the fact that maybe there was a player or two committed to that side, but it looks like Captain Hannibal might get an easy kill here onto a very low Perry, which I thought he whiffed there for a second, but does manage to take him down, get a frag, and recover the AK there, so not all but lost. Yeah.
MVP have got plenty of cash to work with, and they're just having a look to see if they can find Hannibal here. Zeph not watching the angle, he's actually still pushing, so it might have to come down to HSK. Making a bit of noise. He's going to check into T-spawn by the looks of things. They haven't found Hannibal. He's in the kitchen, guys. Now HSK will find him.
Oh, that Molly's a bit unfortunate. Solid might just push this and try to get the frag, which he does.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Good hunt from MVP. Using all the time that they had. Denies an AK from Mineski, so they're going to be rolling out with what looks to be full rifles, just the M4s out. I don't think they had enough money to get an AWP. Didn't see anyone on 4750, so even if they had it, they wouldn't be able to really buy armor with it or anything. So MVP again in with a much better buy than Mineski here. 11-1, lots of ones, and it should be still a tough ask here for Mineski again in this round. Lacking a lot of utilities. They do a bit of damage with the grenades onto HSK and Zeph.
Yeah, so take him down quite a bit towards the bottom of Nana there, but nonetheless, just riding out this round. Pretty default stuff coming out from the guys on MVP as we see a 2 and 3 stack onto the A and B bomb site. Not trying to get too much information there. The nades doing the damage they need and just holding those passive angles towards that B bomb site. The molly will rain off But no one's actually holding that angle, so might give Glow the opportunity to push forward and get a bit more information. We do see the bomb going up towards Nana. It actually has just stopped there for a second, so they do like to do a little bit of a dance here and just make sure they're poised to kind of peak this angle here heading into the CT area. But looks like they're just kind of lingering. They really enjoy this Nana position, don't they? Just swapping some guns, having a bit of a chat. Hey, what are we going to do in Oakland?
Yeah,
win some CS, hopefully.
Eat some food.
No, you'd hope they would eat
good food over in Oakland, I reckon.
Yeah?
No idea. Never been there. But I reckon there's some.
I would say there is.
I've just got a funny feeling, Danny.
I would say it's your typical kind of Americano junk food there. Spencer gets aggressive, finds one, finds two. Nice little flash there, and Pete coming through and putting the numbers in favor. So once again, there is that nice start, but we have seen them lose starts like this as Hannibal actually finds another one. So Solo with that AWP.
Should close this one.
Yeah, they should. But Solo has been very dynamic here as Perry just flashes himself out, doesn't find too much, and now the Z's are coming through, but he's completely blind. Gee getting a nice, easy kill. Should recover that AWP?
I think he should have.
Surely.
Again, nice play from Dispenser on the B bomb site. I think MVP have probably been a little bit more consistent heading towards the A site than the B site. Just seems as though, yeah, they didn't get the AWP, which is interesting. But Dispenser, he seems to really know how to lock down that B site when there's a smoke there, when your opponent's pushing through it. And the flashbangs are good from Mineski coming out on the B site. So I definitely do think that their B hold is a little bit stronger than their A hold at the moment. And I would imagine MVP is going to probably get a read on that and head into the A bomb site again in this round. I don't think I'd be too keen to head towards B. Unless they get a pick here in Banana, then maybe they can go to B.
Yeah, so Dubstep just trying to get some information here. Actually gets naded down to 44, so unfortunate for him, and now gets taken down by the AWP of HSK. So the opening once again starting. HSK finds another one onto Dispenser just for the sake of things. So it looks like the site is free as of the moment. They rush up towards B as the rotate does come through. Hannibal just trying to do something, work some kind of magic. The spray comes through here. HSK can go down, but he actually manages to cross. And now Captain Hannibal needs to find a frag here. Again, HSK just playing with fire, just lurking across through and
man-moding it.
Yeah.
Perry might get a free kill here onto Retrack, but that's not actually going to be the case, as the kill does go the other way. 5 HP though, it's not ideal, particularly when you're going to have to try and retake the site 3 versus 4. And do you even try and retake this site 3 versus 4?
They have
if
a couple
Hannibal
of mollies
doesn't get
here.
a free kill, then no. He does though. There's a chance now for Mineski.
Retrack there. He's got another molly. Just needs to utilize it. He knows where HSK is, but that one's actually missed the spot. So now he's just down to Hannibal, who was on very low health. Goes down anyway. So, I mean, just holding the trigger onto that molly. I thought they could have gotten the spots out a bit quicker. Smoke there in hand as well. So 3 on 4, very low player. Every opportunity to retake that bomb site, but they do fall, giving that 12th round to MVP. We're going to the last of the half. Buzz going to be not the greatest. A couple of UMPs, sees it's the Deagle. And yeah, what do you say? MVP, just really, really strong team side.
Got some more news for you, Danny. 16-3 was the result for Mongols in their last map there as well. And so they're 2-0 through to the next round, which means it is going to be the Chiefs versus Mongols up next. And I think we're going to be broadcasting that one here on this channel too. So we're going to get to see that one, which is going to be fun. But for now, MVP still trying to close it out over Mineski, and we might be heading in the direction of a fairly similar result as that 16-3 that Mongols did pick up, because MVP are really steamrolling over Mineski right now. 12 rounds on the T side of Inferno. You would be very happy with that. I mean, if you give them that on a silver platter, you'd be like, thank you very much.
And well, he's going to have a nice opportunity to take down Zeph here. Not quite sure what's hit him, and Perry's just going to try to spam through that smoke. But yes, you are right indeed, Elfish. Even if Mineski pick up this round, it will be very slim pickings. I mean, they need to get their first pistol round to start off with, and then from there, it's still a very steep hill to climb, as Hannibal's just being an absolute nuisance here with that CZ. I thought he was going to get the better of Glow there, but Glow will take him down. So 3 on 3. Actually, started the round off quite well with that very lacking firepower, but now the AKs may reign supreme here. They do still have quite a bit of utility, but Glow on 25, Perry on 13. Those UMPs have been bolstered quite substantially because of these low HP players.
Yep. More news, Danny. Rekka have closed out their second map as well, 16-6, and so they also are going through, and MVP will be facing them if or more likely when they do eventually defeat Mineski. So every other match has concluded with a 2-0, and this one does seem as though it will shape up in the same direction. Not much time left for MVP, though, in this round to get into that A bomb site. 20 seconds. They need a clean kill here on Dispenser, but Solo just goes down. The flashbang is good. Perry gets dropped as well, and it's now Glow 1 versus 2. He's going to plant in the smoke, and not plant in the smoke as MVP to finish off the first half, though. 12-3. Good start for them on Inferno here. They should be able to close it out in the second half, and we will see how that goes just after this.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
MVP back now onto the CT side after that 12-3 first half that they started off with. What more could you really want here on Inferno? Maybe a 15-0, I guess, but might as well be that here for MVP, particularly if they do clean up this pistol round. And Perry in a great spot to find a couple of early frags, though. Seems as though Mineski have pushed up a little bit too far, too close for comfort for him, and he falls back off the angle.
Yeah, just seeing if a boost will come through. We do see 2 players poised there. There's every opportunity that might be the case, but it looks like they will just push forward. Trying to close the distance on these USPs and pepper away with these Glocks. Perry here and a nice shot. He did wonderfully in that first CT pistol round over on Mirage. We'll see if we can dome a couple of these players here. Just pots one into the wall there, just flicking through, and it looks like they will make their way onto the site, and the stack towards A is actually going to come to the detriment of these players if they do find a relatively free B site. So retake is on, but the utility is a little lacking, obviously, because it is a pistol round. The decoy and Glow, probably not going to do much, but that smoke is key for Solo. There's still not yet a single player to go down.
It's very tough to take a B-bomb site like this on the retake for MVP. Like, they just need to hit their shots coming into, well, in from construction. Perry here, if he gets taken down, that's probably the round over. Someone else from MVP is just going to have to come up absolutely massive. But that time has been ticking away for so long. And Mineski have got all the favorable angles. With those Glocks, you probably have a pretty easy time of dealing with USPs when you're in close like that. And so MVP... not a great idea to be going for a retake strat on the B site. But what more could they really do? Don't know. Anyway, MVP have got plenty of rounds to play with, so they're not going to be too concerned about that one.
And very little to no risk taken. The 4 AKs come out with Hannibal just there, probably trying to bank up a bit of economy for himself. Not taking any risks here, just opting for the rifles, maybe just trying to pick off a couple of these players if they do show aggression. CZ, Zadeagle, and a couple of P250s out for MVP. But once again, they do have a very healthy buffer at this stage, so just waiting for that first gun round to come out, see if they can do any damage. Maybe retrieve one of the AKs, but not too much invested here for MVP.
Big stack over to the A bomb site from MVP. Solo is just locking down B on his own. Not really spotting out too much in that banana, though he's going for a bit of a wander. Now he sees dubstep and somehow manages to get back across.
Yeah, that was
you know, like how you sometimes at like like what do they call it in America or something, like a fair, an exhibition or whatever,
yeah.
Right? And they've got like those duck hunt games, and it's
oh,
just
right,
like
yeah.
the duck going backwards and forwards across the cover. That was basically what he was like there, and he manages to survive. But the stack over on the A-bomb site here is really not going to be too effective from MVP because it's really only Dispenser heading in that direction. So unless Solo comes up with 3 or 4 kills himself.
So HSK, once again, probably heard you saying that duck thing. It feels like he was just dancing, and manages to ding down Dispenser to 16 as well. Solo here, he's in a very sneaky position, but not able to find a frag as he does retrack, protecting his teammates. And now Zeph with the Deagle might just pile a couple of shots through the smoky, but not giving away his position actually, so manages to make his way through to construction.
I'm not so sure about this here for MVP. I reckon it would be just better off saving that armor and weaponry through to the next round. Obviously, they're not going to buy next round, but they're just deciding to go in here and throw away their guns, which is really a little bit surprising.
Oh.
I'm not sure what the thought process was there. And HSK, the only one sitting back, if you were going to send anyone forward, it would have been HSK, because he doesn't have armor and he's only got a P250. He will find the kill onto Hannibal, but that's pretty irrelevant at that point, and I really do have to question that from MVP. Would have liked to have seen them just keep that armor, keep those upgraded pistols into this round, because in this one, they're just going to be using USPs, and so they've really got no chance. In the last round, they had a chance, And if they would have taken the guns through, the pistols and the armor, again, they might have had a chance in this round as opposed to no chance.
Yeah, so interesting choice there. Maybe trying to find something and recover one of the weapons. Hannibal is the one to go down, but he did have the MAC-10 and got a couple of frags as well, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference to the economy of Mineski. As we see Dubstep once again favoring this position. We'll see if Solid does present himself as a sitting duck once again, and if he can actually finish off the frag here. As, we do see a bit of a heavier stack towards the B-bomb site this time, so changing it up a little bit, maybe trying to catch off Mineski. They have been favouring this B-bomb site, but it looks like they're reading the play quite well here. It's just HSK there with the P250. We'll see if we can get a frag off Dispenser. He does like holding that position, but this time round Dispenser just dispenses of him very quickly, mauling out anyone. Not going to find too much, and the call coming out. So once again, a nice read. Should be a very easy bomb plant. I mean, the only difficulty they would have if someone actually DC'd or something. I'm just trying to find something to fill the fluff here, but now it's just going to be bit of a shooting gallery as these MVP guys go over to A. See if they can get something done with these USPs.
Well, they might as well even just sit here in B because there's no way they're retaking A. Better off just sitting there and not feeding free money over to potentially Hannibal with that MAC-10, or even if the AK's, you know, it's still more money. But MVP are just chilling in the banana. I reckon they just sit here and wait. Glow will take a peek, and that ends about as well as expected. They do manage to kill Dispenser, but Hannibal, oh, he probably won't actually be able to retrieve that AK because he's so far away.
Oh. Well, Solo got a dink there, every chance to take down Gear, but gets taken down himself. And now the guns will come out for MVP.
Mm-hmm. The money is decent enough to afford an AWP there for HSK, and I think he might have gone for it. Yeah, he has. So that's not a bad buy from MVP. The money's still not really there just yet, though. But they've got enough utilities to lock down this banana line. And HSK, Perry, and Zeph heading in that direction. Zeph and Perry are the ones that have full utilities. And you can probably imagine the reason that they've gone for those FAMASas is purely to just get those extra utilities so that they can lock down that B line and allow HSK to take a position at car, hold it solo, and then have those players rotate back over to A when they've gotten control of banana.
Yeah, they're pushing quite forward here, so Perry getting a lot of information.
They always do.
Yeah.
So they clear it. The rotation comes across there from MVP over towards A, and HSK holds solo in that banana line. Maybe it's going to be a little bit too late unless Blow can come up big here, and he gets a lot of damage over onto Guy there, but it's just not quite enough to make you feel confident about this retake here for MVP. And at this point, they may again just be better off saving those weapons through to the next round.
Yeah, so they will be playing a couple of rounds here with the FAMASas. I mean, they do recover the M4 of Solid, but once again, like you were mentioning, when they were just feeding them when they had those CZs and armor, I mean, taking that into the next round could have made all the difference here. They could have gotten those far superior M4s into this round, but I mean, at this stage, you'd hate to think that mistakes like that cost them an opportunity to get to IEM Oakland, but still early days, still a bit of a buffer, but Mineski are closing the gap quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of caught up a bit, but even after this round, they're going to be still 5 behind, which is quite significant. When you consider they still need 9 rounds to close out the half to MVP's 4, or to close out the map even, it just doesn't seem like a doable situation. And MVP, it's just a case of them getting a full buy through here. I'm actually kind of surprised to see them forcing behind those guns that they did have, but they actually apparently have more money than I thought they did. Obviously, they were... Oh, okay, yeah. I just completely forgot that they were on the losers round bonus. So they have a lot of utilities again here in this round. Hopefully for them this time, it goes a little bit better than the last. Get control of that banana line once more.
Yeah, it is down to HSK here, but it looks like he will be rotating towards the Archer's position, actually. So it actually gives up disfavored Nana, just relying on Perry to get the information. And once again, we do see that clinical play coming once again. He's actually very far forward. Will he sit there? So as the smoke dissipates, he actually just falls back. So information once again as the bomb makes its way up second mid. And Hannibal now just taking the peek there. Perry will come into contact. Actually, the timing there, the spray through. They might find something here. Gets ever so slightly damaged, but nothing to write home about at this stage. So Mineski just grinding this round out. Not too much happening as of yet. Dispenser just seeing if he can spot anyone towards the site.
He's got carpets control here, so Zeph needs to be very careful. Does peek the line, and Dispenser punishes him for it. Puts him low. It's not dead, and Glow's in a good spot here. Does get checked though by Dispenser. Solo needs to come up big, and he does. Gets a double kill. Perry in the meanwhile able to find another kill as well, and the rotation is starting to come across from HSK. He wanders a bit back towards B, and Perry does go down, but the site's still not secured by Mineski, and it's going to be difficult to secure as well, particularly when HSK gets into the position that he is.
Yeah, so Solo doing some good work there, and unfortunately Perry getting a little bit caught out reloading in more of an open position than I'm sure he would like to find himself in. Recheck just kind of creeping across through, gets the shot onto Solo, so now the bomb will go down. HSK just pushing through that smoke here. He's going to find this first frag, finds one. He actually spots the second play. He just needs to get that line onto him. Dubstep, not expecting it, and a great shot coming out from HSK. So really just clutching that round out in style, completely confident. Spotted him out. Dubstep, no chance. I'm sure if he had his view, he's probably spotting towards either side of those boxes. So nice little clutch out from HSK, but once again, the money.
Yeah, the money for MVP is not going to be ideal, really. They are going to, of course, get a buy through here. But, yeah, it's just still going to be a little bit lacking. For Mas there for Glow. But across the board, I kind of like this buy a little bit better than what they've had, actually, in the last couple of rounds. And so, full utilities coming through for the Mineski guys, or more or less. Dubstep obviously missing a couple there, but he's got the AWP. So, one would argue even that Mineski still has the better buy here. But MVP definitely don't want to be dropping this round. They want to be able to consolidate on that first round win that they've got, and not allow Mineski to have a couple of easy anti-eco rounds to, again, pull their score back closer and closer.
Yeah, so Dubstep opening up to Perry there. So not the best start for MVP, and they probably will be going into a double eco after this, so that might bring them up to those double digits, and then it gets a little bit worrisome, especially with the dominant first half that MVP did have. That momentum swing could actually lead to something as HSK actually gets a tag onto...
What?
Oh, Dispenser.
Running headshot there from Dispenser, as you do, but now Solo is anchoring on the A bomb site. He's got a big player, but not this round, as Dispenser just absolutely wrecks him. And that was a good entry onto the A site there from MVP.
Yeah, so
from Mineski.
Yeah, HSK just getting attacked through the wall into Dispenser there, and then straight after manages to get 2 frags. So completely different round if he manages to get that shot cleanly onto him. And Dispenser actually manages to pick up that AWP for his trouble. So
I don't think they take the double off here in
that'd
Inferno.
Be silly. I was just about to say. Having said that, though, Zeph with the gun, they do lose that max round loss bonus, and 4 players down if he doesn't get found here, which I don't think he will be. He's a bit far away, as we do see Dispenser making his way around, but he's on super low health, so I don't think he'll be hunting it too aggressively. I mean, can Mineski do this?
Well, the way that they're playing right now, yeah. But we are still yet to see an actual proper full buy out from MVP.
It'll be interesting to see
every single round that they've played so far, they've had FAMASs, they've had a lack of utilities, they just haven't had what they needed to. So I would really like to just see a full double eco out from MVP here. Get an absolutely perfect buy into round number 24. You know, it'll be 13-10. You can just shut it out there. Unless Zeph can get something massive done in this round.
I feel also if there's an opportunity for one of the other players to recover a gun, they take 2 rifles in, they will be forcing up, so they won't going to give themselves a chance either. Zeph fully flashed out, so the rifle goes down straight away. Hannibal is going to set up on Perry. He actually gets the USP and puts it to work. So there's 2 very recoverable guns here. It is up to Retract to shut this down. The smoke comes through the smoke, runs out of ammo, and then he gets mollied as well. So that is very unlucky. That really could have turned the tide there. And once Retract getting very aggressive, actually shuts down any opportunity to recover that second gun.
The smoke will still be there, though, for MVP, so they can re-peek out and get this second gun, which is nice. And so they've secured 2 guns through here. They've done a lot of damage over to Retract. The only problem is, though, that the A-bomb site is well and truly undefended right now. I mean, you do have HSK over there sort of solo holding it, but Dispenser managed to get himself into CT. Glow does go down. It's one of the pistol players, which is probably the ideal situation, I suppose, for MVP, but Dispenser's doing a great job here, and he doesn't quite check the line properly, which means Solo is still able to defend this B site just a little bit. Trades out for the AK. But 3 versus 2, now 3 versus 1. Solo does get the Molotov down, but this is not winnable for him.
Yeah, finds a very low retract, so 2-on-1 right now. Doesn't have the armor, does have a kit in hand. If he finds the head of Guy, this is very doable, but time is ticking away, and Guy just playing the ducking game. Presents his head. Now it's a 1-on-1. That was looking a bit risky, but Dubstep manages to get the trade straight away, so shuts down any signs of panic.
Still a very good round for MVP, considering they did not put any money into it at all.
Please don't force.
Yeah, please don't force here, MVP. You know, you had a good last round. You've hurt the economy a bit of Mineski, but what we really want to see is that full buy in round 24.
I mean, albeit MVP gets their first kind of, after the first gun round in round 24, but I mean, like, they get punished if this is the situation against a team like Mongols or a Rekka.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit worrying heading into the next matchup if they do go through this game. Has been slowed down their momentum quite significantly. And a couple of CZs here as Zeph actually gets tagged down to 31. Flashbangs as well. The Solo holding a nice little angle. He needs to find the head, which he manages to do. Taking down Hannibal.
Oh, runs out of ammo.
Yeah.
It was a good flash there as well. You would have backed Solo to get that kill if he would have had maybe 5 or 6 shots in that clip still, but Glow gets the dink and the finishing shot onto Dispenser as well. This is starting to look a little bit worrisome for Mineski. Glow's got himself an AK in his hands. 3 versus 4. It's still advantageous even for Mineski, but HSK's in a sneaky spot. If he takes the timing correctly here, he could have gotten G, but does get away.
Indeed he does. So Zeph does have a flashbang in CZ.
Yeah, he's just flashing off for Perry. So Perry, the ideal situation here is gets that 1 frag. The flashbang comes out from Zeph. They reposition on the B site. The rotation starts to come across from MVP, and it's 2 versus 4. Maybe the B players do go down, but Glow can get one with the AK, something like that. Let's see how it does turn out. Unfortunately, Perry's not able to land that shot, nor is Zeph able to get anything done. And so that's probably the round wrapped up there by MVP. And they needed to get that shot courtesy of Perry.
Absolutely. So clearing out that spot very efficiently, and the trade not coming through, which could have left MVP in a good position in this round, but now looks like Glow's just going to try to save that AK. You look at Gee, you look at Dubstep, they are very low, but they do manage to take these. They probably will definitely be able to take these 3 guns into that next round. And now the full buy, finally. No more FAMASs. We'll see what MVP can do to lock it down when they have everything they need to do so.
This is really a good situation now though for MVP, because they're coming into the next round with oodles of cash.
Oodles.
They will be able to buy anything that they want. Oodles. It's like noodles, but without the end.
Thank you for... I was just like racking my brain on how to spell oodles. Yep. I'm so glad you told me because I was struggling. But here we go. This is nice to see, but it could also be absolutely devastating if they do lose this round. No excuses at this stage. They've pulled together that 1 round that they did win with FAMASs and a bit of a semi-rifle buy, but now they have everything they could want. Bit of lacking utility on HSK as he has opted for that AWP. And we know how much they like to use the utility there to control Nana, but it looks like he'll be heading towards that A-bomb site anyway.
All right. This is the round for MVP. This is the one that they need to win. If they do lose this, that's a big problem. But HSK rotating his position. He's been on the B side every time that he's had that AWP. Dispenser not expecting him to be holding in carpets, and it works the way of MVP. Early start. Nice for the CT side, but it's not over just yet.
Yeah, that bomb just kind of holding up towards mid there, just waiting for the smoke to dissipate, see if we can find anything. But we do have 2 players, one in Cubby and that all-important AWP holding this mid position. If HSK finds another one, this round becomes very difficult as he does actually get smoked off here. So fires a shot away, gives away his position actually, so they're aware of the AWP, and it looks like that is the cue to avoid that at all means and kind of push up Nana, and it will be down to Zeph to do something big here.
Yeah, the rotation almost going back there across for Perry, but he decides to come back and decides to shoot his teammate. MVP have some problems with that. Yeah, we've seen them do that before, so that's a little bit interesting, but the resmoke is back for MVP. The timing is great on that incendiary, and Mineski has to push through it. It results in 1 kill for the incendiary. Zeph with a great headshot as well onto Key. And, well, it's 2v5. This looks much better for MVP in this round. They may lose Solo because he's not looking at this angle, which he wouldn't be.
Absolutely.
Made too much noise there, though, Hannibal. HSK will spot him out. The rotations start to come across now for MVP. And the entries onto the B side have to be perfect here for Mineski, but they're not. Only 1 kill goes the way of Mineski there. MVP close it out, and Mineski should have the money for this round, I would think. But they did have a pretty expensive anti-eco in round 21.
So, pause getting called from MVP.
Mineski.
Mineski?
Yep.
Oh.
That's what I was told anyway.
You got to think at this stage, it's, you know, they're staring 2 rounds away from getting eliminated from these IEM Oakland qualifiers. So, lots of words to be said. They had a nice little run of it. Now, MVP have managed to stabilize their economy, get the utilities, which they used so well in that last round. Mineski have to dig deep here. Stay alive!
It's tough now that MVP's kind of stabilized their economy. It always felt to me like in that second half, it was just a case of MVP not having the tools that they really needed to win the rounds. You know, there was chances, they had guns, they could have won the aim duels, but you don't want to really bring it down to that. When your opponent's got the full utilities, they can just flash themselves in, molly off the key areas, smoke off the key areas, and take the aim duels that they want to take. But when you've got counter utilities on the CT side, you can see how much more difficult it makes it for the T side to get in there. You can delay so much longer on that B side. The double smoke comes out, and then there's 20 seconds or 30 seconds left on the clock for Mineski to try and push into the B side. They have to go through the smoke, and then the incendiary comes down at their feet straight away as soon as they're running through the smoke. It's just an awful situation to be trying to entry into the B bomb side, and the first headshot goes the way of the CTs, and at that point you're basically like, yep, the round is already over. So you can just see the difference that it makes for MVP when they've got those extra utilities, when they've got the full rifles and the AWP in their hands on this CT side. And I almost back them to win this without losing another round at this point, just because of how confident that last round was.
Yeah, it does. You really do see the difference that a couple of utilities and that upgraded rifle power does. Having said that, maybe Mineski can throw a little bit of a spanner in the works here and change something up and shutting it down. I mean, they definitely have read a couple of these MVP plays, and it looks like they have somewhat of a grasp on this playbook, but they're just getting outclassed here as MVP PK are 1 round away from match point to take them to a match against Rekka, the grand finalists of Season 1 Zen League. They went down 2-1. It was a close match, but you got to remember, Rekka had a little well-known Asian player called Bintent back then, so yeah. I think we're in for a great game. But once again, Mineski not quite out of it as of yet. HSK gets very aggressive down towards mid and almost gets the shot there. Yeah,
it's like he almost pre-fired that and expected someone to walk around the corner at the right time, but doesn't work out. Does spot out dubstep and punishes him for the repeat. Great work there from HSK. Dispenser goes down as well. 2 kills already in this round for the AWP of MVP, and you can pretty much seal the deal on this one. Ramp the bow up and deliver that present to MVP PK, because it looks like this round is well and truly going to be going in their direction, and probably with that the map as well, because Mineski will be struggling for cash in the next round unless they get the bomb down.
Yeah, I got to question that repick of dubstep there. I mean, it's a very cheap way to give away your primary AWP. Having said that, it has been picked up by Hannibal. I haven't seen too much AWPing from him, but we'll see if he can lead his team to some sort of glory as the time does tick away. Just over 50 seconds left on the clock. It looks like they will be favoring towards that Nana position. Up to Perry to try to lock down from CT here. And we do see Zeph over onto that bomb site, and they do still have 2 mollies. 43 seconds left. This could just shut it down before it can even get started here. This is not favorable for Mineski, really.
Not at all, particularly considering there's still utilities on the B site. And those incendiaries are going to buy another 10 seconds here for Mineski, or for MVP, at which point MVP kind of has to push into the B site with 10 seconds remaining on the clock, more or less. 15, there you go, that's not even much better. They just... MVP's playing this perfectly, waiting it out, not peeking. They know that Mineski has to make the moves, and they're just denying them any kind of time to play with. 5 seconds to get that bomb down if the kill goes the way here of Perry, which it does. Hannibal not covering off well enough. The round was over regardless if Hannibal got that kill onto Perry or not. And 15 on the board for MVP. Mineski's money is looking a little worse for wear. He will be able to drop a couple of guns here, or a gun, but overall, MVP... it should be 16 and 10 for them here.
Solo putting up the stats, they're leading the way for his team. So, I mean, he is always a very consistent player, but you don't really see him in these kind of like carrying roles. But he has had a good game across both maps, and HSK as well. Three frags in that last round. just really this set up the bye coming through and really just stabilizing everything for MVP, looking very comfortable on the CT side, locking down Mineski, and that last one was just clinical. They did lose Zeph, but I mean everything was just timed well, use of utility, just the positioning of the players on that bomb site, not giving Mineski any kind of a sniff of trying to bring this back, and now they're on match point to make it through and face off against Rekka. I mean, it was a bit of a different team and a different lineup as well, actually, last time they faced off. So that's going to be an absolute flip of the coin, I think.
Both teams have had changes, and that is going to be a very good match between MVP and Rekka. And I can see it going both ways. But I can also see the Mongols and Chiefs going both ways. But this one, I can only see going one way, and that is an MVP victory, be it in this round or be it sooner or later. Glow still being in a bit of a cheeky position here, will get a 2K, drops the bomb carrier as well. In the meanwhile, Solo finds himself 2, and that is that wrapped up cleanly by MVP. They're going to go through to the next round, 16 and 10 in that second map, 16 and 12 in the first one, which was on Mirage. A 2-0 for MVP, a fairly confident 2-0 as well, I think. So that's a good start to the day for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there was a couple of worrying signs, but the minute they got that buy through, the minute they got the orb utilities, they just really shut that down. And there was nothing more Mineski could do, really, just outclassed in the end.
Yep, very much so. I thought that MVP, in that second half, it took them a little bit to get rolling, but really it was just the economy that they needed to get going. Once they took that double eco that we said that they needed to take, they got the utilities in their hands. They didn't really drop any rounds after that. So overall, very, very successful performance from MVP. The first half was excellent from them. Second half, a bit shaky there on Inferno, but they knew that they had plenty of rounds to play with. They knew that they didn't need to do anything drastic. And so, obviously, things go their way quite easily. Overall, I'm happy for MVP. I'm happy to be able to see them go up against Rekka as well. I think that's going to be a cracker of a game.
Yeah, and on that note, the IEM Oakland qualifiers have now turned into the Zen League.
Yeah, pretty much. We've got every single team left in the IEM Oakland qualifiers are performing or playing in the Zen League. Obviously, Chiefs kind of a little bit of an outlier there because they're in the E&SE Championship where everyone else is in the Asian Championship, but they are still playing here in the IEM Oakland qualifiers, and we are going to see them play in the next match here on this broadcast. It is going to be the Mongols and Chiefs. We will go to a break first, but stay tuned because it's the Chiefs and Mongols up next.